Welcome. It's Musings with Mookie again. This is going to be possibly my next one. It's now it's 12:20 November 5th, meaning it's 12:20 a.m. November 5th. It's a full moon in Taurus in case you wanted to know. I'm also texting my son. Let's hopefully I'm still recording. I don't know if that's still recorded. Did it still record? Hopefully it did. Hopefully it didn't stop. But I'm tired. And I just finished taking a math quiz and I don't know what score I'm gonna get on it. I'm hoping it's something above a 70, more so above an 80. I just want to be really hopeful that it's going to be good. And I feel like I'm repeating the same errors that I did in high school when I initially had to take math like this. Because, math just builds on top of each other and it expands outward. And then back into itself and then into something else. And it's just, and I know I'm talking about math again after just doing, but this isn't about math, actually. I'm sitting here and I'm wallowing after I'm done with my quiz and I'm looking, because nowadays you gotta take a picture of the work, you gotta show your work, take a picture of it and send it in. And I wish I could stop repeating history. Like, I just wish I could just stop repeating history. And I when it comes to math, I repeat history. Like, I'm constantly asking myself, why am I doing this when I don't even need this type of math for what I'm pursuing? And I believe I'm in my closet, so of course there's stuff to move around. When my goal is just to be a writer, and I don't mean just to be a writer like it doesn't carry a weight with me, a weight with me, trying to enunciate my words to be a better speaker. But it does. But I'm sitting here at the table and I'm wallowing in my grief. I wouldn't say it's pity because I'm not like poor me. I wish it could be better. No, I'm grieving because I don't know what I'm going to get on this math exam because I'm going in the calculator. I spend sometimes too many minutes doing it. And it's 20 questions and I get 2 hours to do it. And I know, and I think about my oldest and my second oldest. My youngest, she's not quite where she needs to be in schooling to work these problems out. But I'm sure if she was shown the steps, she'll grasp it. But my two oldest definitely would not take me 2 hours to do these 20 questions. And if I told my son that it took me 2 hours to do this, he would probably chuckle. My oldest, he's in engineering, so there's that. I'm sitting here in my grief. Is that a cranberry? Maybe I shouldn't be eating all over the house. I'm sitting here in my grief and I'm like, oh. And the question that comes to mind while I'm sitting here and I go into a philosophical thought, as I often do, is why do we as humans keep repeating ourselves if we're supposed to be? Why do we keep repeating history if we're supposed to be the superior beings? Why is knowledge wasted upon us for us to repeatedly hurt each other and others? Not just each other, and by each other I mean the person right next to you, next door to you in the street or whatever, and then hurt others. Like, what is the point? Like, we create laws to protect each other, but then use these same laws that were supposed to be for protection to use them to aggress against other individuals. And I just want to know. And then something else comes into mind. And what comes into mind is manifest destiny. And my history teacher, I had great teachers in school. I mean, if you listen to them, if you're willing to pay attention and they see those kids that are paying attention, the teachers go hard. And so my history teacher in high school, he gave us the real business that manifest destiny was a load of bullshit, as most catchy phrases are. Like, the newest one is now boyfriends are embarrassing. That is a catchphrase for the brokenhearted and those that are going through pain. And a lot of us are going through a lot of pain at the moment, all over the world. But we start picking out certain demographics of people, and they are the catch line for the moment. But my history teacher, and I'm remembering from 10th grade, he was very real about history and how a bunch of it is just they destroy things not because they initially wanted to, but because they could, and they would get essentially money for it. And he called the 3 reasons as to why they did it was God, glory, and gold. And not necessarily in those orders. Now, I know you got your missionaries that go out and yada yada yada, do their thing, blah blah blah. But he wanted us to understand that religion was not at the forefront of the explorer's mind. When God came into play, it was because the churches were in part funding the expeditions to spread the gospel, so it seems. But what is in the heart of all men? If you are Christian, if you are there's so many different religious or spiritual texts that talks about the heart of man. And in the heart of man, for the most part, is evil. It's evil. You can minimize the evil, but you can't always control it. You have 12 pure righteous men in the room at one time. It's hard. If you think you're going to control your captains and the rest of the whatever the crew is called on a ship, if you think you're going to control them and still keep your boat running the way it's supposed, without giving them their heart's desire, no, you're in a strange world yourself. So a manifest destiny is a load of shit, and people are still hanging on to manifest destiny to create and cause evil because we can, meaning we should. And if you grew up with parents or parental figures, or they got that phrase, just because you can doesn't mean you should. It doesn't mean you should. And we're living in a full blown, we've really let them, and I say this, and I say this not with a meanness, but they let the dorks in the door. Okay, they really did. They let the dorks and the bullies in the door to lead us. And it's not just on one side, but it is showing up on one side. And we're not taking care of each other. We're repeating history because it looks good, and we repeat it a different way because no one is recognizing this particular pattern, but a select few. And we, those few that see the pattern and can tell you prior to, like at the start of the pattern, that this is what's happening, but you won't listen. You won't hear it because it doesn't apply to you, but it does. A ripple in the water goes further than you see. And that ripple always comes back. It doesn't come back. It may not come back as a ripple, but it always comes back. And I wish people can see that. I wish people can see that we are repeating history in a way that isn't easily recognizable to those who didn't pay attention to it. So that's all I have for tonight. It kind of feels depressing to talk about it, but you can stop it. You can stop the repetitive madness. You just have to pay attention to the signs. Well, this has been Musings with Mookie. I have more to say on something else, and I'll talk to you then. Love you. Ooh, that's a new one. Ciao. Bye.